Claude Fable 5, the AI is so good that the government banned it, is back. But most businesses will just use it like a fancy Google search. That's like buying an F1 car and driving it at 10 miles an hour. Here's the 8 ways that your business can harness its true power. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how you can use Fable 5 to convert more leads, hire faster, and save a ton of money for your business. But first, why was Fable 5 banned in the first place? What I'm going to say is based on official Anthropic documents, by the way, so you can trust that it's 100% true. On Friday the 12th of June, Claude took down Fable 5 and Mythos 5 under orders from the US government. And the reason it was taken down is not because it's powerful. I mean, we want powerful. The reason is because of a term known as jailbreaking. Jailbreaking is essentially bypassing the safety filters of an AI using specific prompts. Think of it like sneakily tricking someone to break a rule without actually forcing them to do it. As you can see from this diagram, especially the one on the bottom, if Fable 5 was jailbroken, its intelligence could be exploited to generate harmful code, perform hacks, and do a bunch of other bad stuff on the internet that the US government does not want to happen. But most people think what makes Fable 5 so good is its large context window of 1 million tokens, which essentially allows it to take in more information before it responds to you, allowing for a higher output quality. But it stands out over other AIs because it can sustain its response quality, its reasoning quality, and its understanding of that context over longer conversations, allowing it to produce high quality responses consistently even as the conversation grows. This combination makes it scary good for multi-step workflows and decision making, and so here's 8 ways that it can actually transform your business. Most businesses are using AI to grow their sales by getting new traffic, cold outreach, etc. But there's others that are using AI to quietly convert a greater percentage of the traffic they already have. And that's when Fable 5 becomes extremely useful. The typical business gets quite a lot of website visitors and DMs on their social media profiles that they can easily talk into actual conversions. These are people who are going onto your website and sending you a message on your socials that you can talk into becoming customers. Especially if you have an AI chatbot or voice agent powered by Fable 5 that's able to reason about these people, understand what they want, and then turn them into customers. You see, what makes Fable 5 key is it can fully understand each customer, their context, and their problem, and talk to them in a way that they feel they are being understood, which only builds trust and pulls them closer to becoming a customer of your business. One of the biggest problems I've had building AI chatbots in my business is using models that are not able to personalize the conversation enough to make the user feel like they're actually being understood. This is because they're not able to take in as much context as Fable 5 and retain that context across the entire conversation. And so with Fable 5 in a well-built AI chatbot, you can essentially convert more of the visitors on your website and your socials for a cost that is near to nothing, especially if you already have high traffic. My agency builds these exact conversion chatbots, and it's why I'm over the moon excited for what Fable 5 is going to do for our clients. So the first way that Fable 5 can transform your business is helping you convert a greater percentage of your traffic into customers. Now, this second way might actually shock you, but most businesses spend a ton of time and money on HR trying to find the right employees. Businesses pay HR to sit through 50 first-round interviews just for one role. And yet the best 5 applicants can be found without a human having to do a single thing. Think about how hiring works. You write a job description, you hand it to HR, and then their job is to essentially match the applicants based on interviews to the job description and find which ones best fit it. That takes a lot of time. HR isn't cheap, and when people get tired, they do begin to make assumptions that might lead to you getting the not so right applicants and moving them to the next stage. With Fable 5, you can set up an AI agent that does that process for you, where applicants have a full conversation with it about their past roles, their accomplishments, their skills, and why they actually want to join your business. Because Fable 5 is so good with context, it doesn't let a single detail slip. It then matches those details with the job description to find which applicants actually fit that role. To be clear, I wouldn't recommend using this for like the last 5 people, but when you're still at that stage where you have 50 applicants and you're trying to find the 10 that matter, this can be extremely key. So the second way that Fable 5 can transform your business is hiring. It can essentially allow you to build an AI agent that can find the right applicants in a pool of hundreds or even thousands of people. Now, if you own a service business, pay attention. The thing that quietly ruins your client relationships are the tiny pieces of information that are dropped off during onboarding. You see, if you don't get the onboarding process absolutely perfect for your business, information is lost, and as a result, certain tasks are not done later on in the process, or you fail to properly understand your client and properly deliver the service. I've been in that exact situation before, onboarding chatbot clients where we get them on a call and we're talking about how we're going to integrate it and we're planning for the chatbot. And we're doing so many things at once that by the time the call ends, unless I've recorded the meeting, it's very hard for me to pick up on every single detail that we talked about. With Fable 5, you can build an onboarding agent that automatically walks clients through this process, collects as much information and context from them as possible, and helps them connect to the apps that your business uses. Because it preserves full context about who they are, what their business does, and the problems they face, it essentially does not let any of that slip through the cracks and puts that straight into your CRM summarized so that you can review that later and use that to deliver the best service possible to your client. That's its real power here, its ability to hold onto every single detail in a conversation and then hand that over in a detailed summary to your CRM later. And so the third way that Fable 5 can transform your business is client onboarding with an AI agent that essentially onboards your clients for you and collects as much context and information from them as possible and then stores that in your CRM securely. By the way, I created a full application guide to Fable 5 for businesses, so if you want it, it's in the video description below. Now, if you've ever built anything with Claude Code, you know the secret. It gets worse as the conversation gets longer. But Fable 5 was built to fix this exact issue. As the conversation goes on when you build on Claude Code, the context fills up and so the quality drops, it makes more mistakes and even forgets to include certain things. I want you to think of context like a desk with papers on it. The more papers you have, the harder it is for the human sitting at the desk to find any piece of information on the desk. Those papers are like context. As your conversation gets longer, the desk fills up with more papers, and as a result, the AI struggles a little more to find information and apply it to what you wanted to build. But Fable 5 can essentially sort through that messy pile of papers much faster. It preserves more context as you build stuff in a long Claude Code conversation, and by the way, it's still not perfect, but it's definitely a step higher than the other AI models. And just to demonstrate this for you, I want you to take a look at this project that I'm building for a school at my AI agency, and you can see how long this conversation has been, as well as see how many files are involved in the project. And so having an AI like Fable 5 means it would fully understand what's going on here, making it less likely to make mistakes or forget stuff when I tell it to add or remove something from the project. So far I've been building that project on Opus 4.8 and it's been amazing, but I'm super excited for Fable 5 and how much time it's gonna save me building it. And so the fourth way that Claude Fable 5 can transform your business is by allowing you to build custom AI software, apps and websites using Claude Code and get more accurate outputs and stuff that actually works in a shorter period of time. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and subscribe. I teach people how to build AI chatbots for free, and I don't want you to miss some of the next tutorials that I'll be making with Fable 5. Now, a lot of business owners dump documents into AI chats and then try to get the best outputs out of them. And most times this works, especially if you're using a high model like Opus 4.8, but going back to that desk analogy, it's essentially like throwing a pile of papers on a desk and trying to get the AI to give you what you want out of there. Fable 5 retains that information for longer, and so the quality of its output doesn't degrade as the conversation extends. And so that makes it really good for long reports from huge piles of documents and deep research involving documents as well. I actually use this in my own business with a custom Claude project that helps me script my YouTube videos. Essentially, each video starts with just like a huge brain dump of information and context about the video that I'm trying to make, as you can see for this one over here. Articles, information, opinions, etc. And then essentially its job is to use all the context from this project, all my script styles, hook guidelines, all of that data, which I'm planning to expand by the way now that I know Fable 5 is here, and analyze all of that with my input and the memory and the instructions to generate a script that makes sense, which I can then edit and record to publish. That's a lot of context, and it gets challenging for the AI, especially when I converse with it as it's generating the script, to get it to add stuff, remove stuff, change stuff. And so Claude Fable 5 allows me to keep getting high quality responses about my script even as the conversation goes on. And so the fifth way that Claude Fable 5 can transform your business is with research and managing and generating documents. Now, if you don't know this already, your business will forever be limited by the quality of data that it has access to. This is because better data means better business decisions. Claude Fable 5 is essentially able to give you the best data and help you make the best decisions from that data because of its large context window. Most businesses spend like $60K a year on a business analyst just to turn that data, those numbers, into proper business decisions. And smaller businesses who can't afford this just neglect it completely and end up making business decisions half blind. Fable 5, with its huge context window, can take in a ton of information from finance, accounting, marketing, sales, customer support, etc., and turn all of that into detailed reports, find trends, and report on your operations to enable you to make the best decisions for your business without having to hire a business analyst. I'll be honest here, the only challenge is getting all of this information into Fable 5 on a repetitive basis. First of all, it would require your business organizing all of this information across its different sectors, and then it would require automations that can automatically collect this information, gather it into a pool, and then feed it into Fable 5 to allow it to produce outputs that you can use to create business decisions. And so the sixth way that Fable 5 can transform your business is essentially analyzing your data and helping you make better business decisions. And this actually links to the seventh way that you can use it in your business, which is marketing. You see, most campaigns don't fail because the idea was necessarily bad, but because it was just built on like an assumption or a slice of data about the customers or the business. You see, Fable 5 can take your customer research, buyers data, customer profiles, business stage, all of that data, and essentially help you develop top tier marketing strategies that will actually get people to buy. And because it takes in so much context over a long period of time, you can keep feeding it new data, customer trends, industry trends, social media trends, performance numbers, and it just keeps generating an amazing marketing campaign. That means your marketing team can deliver campaigns that are built quicker, on better data, and actually get people to buy. And so the seventh way that Claude Fable 5 transforms your business is by building marketing campaigns powered by all of your data, not just some of it. But now you need to know how to use it to actually support people who buy. Everyone thinks AI customer support is just about FAQs. The real money is in those complicated tickets that take a back and forth of like 10 different messages from the client and the business to actually resolve. For SaaS companies especially, resolving one customer issue can take a lot of steps on both the business side and the customer side. And the sad truth is that most AI agents fall apart halfway through this process because they don't fully understand the customer's situation or how to solve it. Fable 5 does really well for this because of its ability to walk through long multi-step processes while preserving context and maintaining understanding of what it's doing and why it's doing it. If it needs to walk a customer through a problem, it can do that excellently from start to finish. I've noticed this myself building customer support chatbots on WordPress. The AI chatbot is way better at helping the user when it fully understands their problem and fully understands the knowledge and is able to apply that knowledge to help the user fix their issue. And it's why chatbots that can take in way more context do way better for customer support. And so Fable 5 is going to be absolutely amazing. What this means is you can use it to build AI chat systems that automatically support your customers on your website or on other chat platforms, resolve their issues and tickets, and actually help your business provide a top tier service or product. And so the eighth way that Fable 5 can transform your business is with customer support, especially for problems that are multi-step. And if you want to learn how to build a 24/7 customer support AI chatbot and connect it to your website in just 15 minutes, watch this video up here.